Welcome to episode number 281 of the Marine Layer podcast. We welcome on Mariners' second-round pick, Nicky Becker. We chat with him about who he is as a baseball player, the feeling of getting drafted by the Mariners, and his early impressions down in Peoria. We'll talk about the Mariners' outfield roster crunch coming soon with Raley on the precipice of returning, and we'll discuss Ryan Sloan getting promoted to Everett.
Your guys' reminder, make sure you're staying on top of all of our stuff. If you want to do that, there's one easy spot you guys can do all of it. It's over at our website, marinelayerpod.com, where you can find all of our episodes, our live show schedules. You can sign up for our Patreon, which, a reminder to you guys, you get ad-free episodes if you sign up. You get priority on mailbags if you sign up. We'd love to have you get involved. There's monthly calls with TJ and I. We love doing those. It's a blast. So all that's over at our Patreon. And then go get your merch too. All our Marine Layer Pod merch is over at our website. We've had people hitting us up a bunch over the last few days about it. It's been awesome to see people getting it. It's been awesome to see people wearing it. So if you want some of your own, head over to our website and go get some pod merch. We'd love to see you wearing it around. That's all over at our website. And then you can find us across social media at Marine Layer Pod.
Let's get it rolling.
The pitch from Acevedo. A drive deep to right field. Down the line. The Mariners win this game 2-1. The dream lives. They're going to the playoffs. 1-1 from Jansen. There you go. Left field. We got a tie ball game. Julio. Oh, baby, what a moment. Tie ball game at 7-7.
And we welcome you to this episode of the Marine Layer podcast, part of the Just Baseball Podcast Network, recording on Monday evening, August 11th. I think the rare off day, Lyle, as almost a 180 from what we were talking about earlier this year when we said, thank goodness for off days. It's a oh gosh darn for off days instead.
Oh gosh darn. Who are you, Phillip Rivers? This off day sucks.
I started off the last episode by dropping an F-bomb, so I decided this episode, in the first sentence, I wasn't going to drop an F-bomb.
Wow, look at you. Appealing to all ages, appealing to all demographics. How about you?
We're for the people.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot more fun to have off days back in May than it is right now. Right now, I just want to see them keep playing because
it's like, what are we supposed to do tonight?
That's a good question. Honestly, if you want full transparency, I don't think the two of us are short on things to do in terms of work that keeps us busy. But it is more fun to stay busy and do all this work while watching the Mariners.
Well, I know what you should be doing. You should be sleeping.
I was going to say, are you going to tell me going to bed early?
Yeah, I mean, you should probably go to bed when we're done recording.
I did get about 3 hours sleep on Sunday night because we recorded late, so that was not a lot.
Maybe a 9 o'clock bedtime tonight.
Dude, I don't think I've been in bed at 9 o'clock since I was like 10. I don't know.
Well, tonight's a great night to start, dog.
Yeah, we'll see. I wouldn't hold your breath. However, for the Mariners, I think they are probably more than happy to have the off day. Also, I mean, they need the rest and all, but also, how do you spend an off day in Baltimore? Like, what do you do?
Golf.
Yeah, there's probably nice golf courses. It's just like Baltimore doesn't feel like exactly like a destination city to spend an off day.
There's enough touristy things to spend a day doing. You can go to some museums. You can go down you can go down in the marina. Like, that's what we did when we were there. I mean, we went and visited Baltimore earlier this year. We were only there for 3 hours, maybe. We went to the infamous Babe Ruth house. They could do that, Lyle. That's where we need Sauce.
That was actually fun. Yeah, if Sauce was on the roster right now, I would tell him to go visit that house immediately.
It's not that far away from Camden.
Oh, it's like 2 blocks from Camden.
Yeah. So that's a good thing to do on an off day. Again, then you can just like go find somewhere to eat. I've had some really good Italian food in Baltimore. You can get some crab cakes. Like, you can find enough to do. And again, lo and behold, most of these guys just golf everywhere they go anyways.
That's fair. Yeah, so they'll probably be fine. They'll probably spend the off day fine. They're probably just,
and if not, Lyle, they can, spend all day at their 5-star resort with all the wonderful things they have available to them.
Oh, I must have forgot. Yeah, they don't stay at Best Westerns. Must have slipped my mind.
No, they do not. There is a couple questions, though, on the off day that we've been kicking around and trying to figure out with this Mariners team. It kicks into your mind a little bit more when you watch Raley crush a grand slam off a lefty earlier this week down in Tacoma. He's getting just about ready to return to the Mariners roster. There's a few ways the Mariners could go about getting him back on the roster. What do we think is the best way for the Mariners to get him back?
What would we do as the corresponding roster move, you mean?
Yes. If you were to make a decision for Luke Raley getting back on the roster, and by the way, this is not playing time on the roster. Lyle and I already had the debate over Robles, Dom Canzone, and Luke Raley in the outfield. That has been discussed. But what we're discussing right now is how the Mariners sculpt their roster otherwise. So how would you, Lyle Goldstein, president of baseball operations of the Seattle Mariners, activate Luke Raley to this roster?
Let's be very clear. Luke Raley is going to be on the roster. There is no scenario where he stays down in AAA. None. So when he gets back onto the roster, there is going to be a corresponding move. And what would I do? Look, I would shake Donovan Solano's hand, say thank you for everything you've done for the team, but tell him we're going to part ways, and you DFA him.
Classic Dylan Moore apologist answer right there.
It is, although if you were to widen the lens a little bit and say now what happens when Victor Robles comes back, that would be the second move. But when you look at who Raley replaces, that feels like the one that would be the most seamless. Solano is a first baseman / DH only. You know Raley gets some time at first base. Obviously, he'll mix it in the outfield too. But that feels like Raley's spot, where if you were to then bring back Robles and DFA Dylan Moore, then you still have Miles Mastrobuoni to sort of take over the Dylan Moore role. Robles goes and starts playing the outfield again.
Mm-hmm. So that part does make sense. The thing that keeps Dylan Moore on the roster, I think, is the fact he can play still 5 positions, or he at least stand in 5 positions. Third, second, first, corner outfield. So that's probably the only plus left you have for Dylan Moore.
Well, 6. He's played shortstop plenty.
So 6. 6 positions. You can't promise he's any good at many of them anymore, and especially given he doesn't really play anymore. Neither does Donovan Solano, but... Okay, so I'll believe the Donovan Solano answer for Raley. What should happen with Robles and Raley back on this Mariners roster, what you would think, the way it's kind of timed out, and I was listening to Mike Salk on Brock and Salk talk about this morning with you. You heard this live. I heard this after the fact. Robles' timeline lines up almost perfectly with the rosters expanding at the beginning of September. So you give him some off days, you stretch out those 50 plate appearances, and Victor Robles is ready to go for the final month of the season. Great. He's getting on the roster. They paid him, he's making $5 million this year? 5? Yeah. He's on the roster.
4.5 about?
Yeah. He's on the roster this year. So he's going to get activated. The ideal moves for those 2 outfielders are Dylan Moore and Donovan Solano are off the roster. You're going to be a little more outfield heavy, a little less infield heavy. The roster expands by 1. And you could, so at that point, you would have Mastro, Raley, Robles, and so you bring up Ben Williamson at that point, with Mitch Garver being your backup catcher. That's the 5 on your bench at that point. You threw an idea out to me, though, of what they could potentially do that would line up more with what they've done this season that I would like a lot less.
We can get to that in a second, but let me hit on 2 things. To clarify about the Robles contract, since you asked, Robles is making $4.1 million this year. He makes $5.1 million next year, and then in 2027, there's that club option for $9 million. Anyway, the other part of this is by that blueprint being executed, you're saying that by bringing Robles back and activating him on September 1st, and by bringing Ben Williamson back, that means that's when Dylan Moore is hypothetically DFA'd. Because if you were to only bring Robles back, you don't have to DFA Dylan Moore, because Victor Robles would be the one guy added to the roster. But if you're going to bring Robles and Ben back, then yes, that's when you DFA Moore.
Which they could still do. They could leave Ben in AAA. You and I have talked about, there's things Ben could probably work on in AAA, which is positional versatility and elevating the baseball more. But what if the Mariners would rather have his glove on the big league roster this year? If you're going to make me choose between the 2 infielders and who's probably going to bring more value right now, Ben Williamson's defense is better than anything Dylan Moore does right now.
Right. And then you have Mastro for speed if you want a pinch runner off the bench. And we've seen Mastro play a little bit of outfield. So if you really had to do that with Mastrobuoni, you could. But the roster would also be structured at that point where you have so many outfielders. You shouldn't really need a utility outfielder that is plugged in multiple times a week in the outfield. Because by that point, Robles is back, Raley's back, you have Canzone, you have Julio, you have Randy. There's enough outfielders.
Mm-hmm. Now, what about this other scenario?
The other one, and admittedly, I would
see red.
Oh, I'd vomit if this happens. But the other idea is, because the Mariners have essentially refused to DFA anybody this year, aside from Colin Snyder, is that when Raley's ready to go, we assume in the next week. Maximum 10 days?
It's hard to ever know, dog.
Well, why is that? You don't get transparent answers about this stuff?
Depends who you ask.
Yes, it does. Oftentimes in certain media scrums, you do not. Anyway, let's say it's in the next 7 to 10 days with Luke Raley. I would imagine that is the timeline for him to come back. The other thing they could do is, because they refuse to DFA anybody, they could send Mastroboni back down to the minors because he still has an option left. He has this year to be optioned back and forth between the big leagues and the minors, where he gets sent back down. Raley gets activated. Demo and Solano stay on the roster. And then come September 1st, that's when Mastro's brought back to the big league club. And they say, hey, this is the guy we'll add, and we'll worry about Victor Robles when he's actually ready.
Dislike.
No. Again, I'd vomit.
Thumbs down.
No. Like, guys, this is not, none of this is personal. This is just about putting the best baseball team on the field, which you very clearly were serious about at the deadline because you went and added Josh Naylor, you went and added Gino, and look at the results it's had. The team has been awesome. And you have a chance to lengthen this offensive roster even more. Look at what this team's going to look like when you get Luke Raley and Victor Robles back. That is a loaded bench. When was the last time we said that the Mariners had a loaded bench? Oh, that's right. Never. So by doing that, I just hope they make the sound moves. This is not personal about Demo. It's not personal about Solano. I've been a huge Demo fan forever. But when Donovan Solano for 2 straight weeks doesn't get in a game, doesn't have an at-bat, like it makes you question what his role on the roster is. He went 2 straight weeks without a plate appearance until that extra inning game against the White Sox in the finale. Then he played in 1 game over the weekend against the Rays. Now, to be fair, he had 2 hits in that game. Regardless, it just feels like that is the seamless move and that it is time.
And he's not going in the game to run. He's not going in the game to play defense now that you have Josh Naylor. There's just also, there is no reason.
And you know who can run and also play first base? Luke Raley.
Yeah. It does not make your team better to carry those 2 players on your roster. And I'm just going to bring back up a sentence I said when they emptied out the bench for that game against the White Sox. When you empty out your bench, when you empty out this current version of the Mariners bench, you just see how large the talent drop-off is and how much it puts you in a corner. The Mariners, whether it be offensively, defensively, or base running wise, don't get better in any aspect by putting their bench on the field. Like Mitch Garver doesn't, as a backup catcher, doesn't do anything better than Cal Raleigh does. Mastro's thing is base running, which is a plus. When you need him to run, that is a plus. Better than some of the other guys. Say, late in a game, Lyle, in a 1-run game, they will probably try this. They take Gino out and they put Mastro in. It's like in the 18-inning game, they took Gino out of that game to pinch run for him.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't be surprised if that happened again in a big situation. So you at least have that. But Demo, like, not excellent defensively. Base running is, like, the base running's solid, but when you can't get on base, it doesn't really matter when you have to go up to the plate and hit. And Donovan Solano doesn't do literally any of those things.
No.
Anymore.
No.
Yeah, it would be weird. You know what's the weirdest thing? We've talked about this a lot this season. The Mariners haven't DFA'd anybody all year, really. They have DFA'd, the guy they've DFA'd the most is Casey Lawrence. But Casey Lawrence was always going to get DFA'd because he was up on the big league roster with the sole purpose to chew up innings and get DFA'd again. That is literally it. They've DFA'd some guys in Tacoma. They've DFA'd like Sarin Lau, but the only regular guy who's spent significant time in the big leagues this year that they've DFA'd is Colin Snyder. They have not touched anybody else and put them on waivers.
Also, if you're Casey Lawrence, I know he's been DFA'd a bunch, but he's probably thrilled with what the Mariners have done with him this year. Because let's be real, he's probably made some decent money being on that roster this year.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
those paychecks hit.
Yes. So it has been odd all year that that's what they've done. And maybe they have tried to wait out the idea of Solano and Dylan Moore turning it around for as long as possible. But guys, like when Raley and Robles are back, we are hitting the home stretch of this season. The Mariners are as hot as ever. You need the best possible roster on the field come the home stretch and the postseason. You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
It is now time to make these decisions. It doesn't have to be easy decisions, but you've got to make them. And honestly, the Mariners have had points of the year where they've done that. Remember how nervous we were about what the opening day roster was going to look like? Which, if you're going to talk about DFAs, the one big one this year was Mitch Haniger. Nobody thought the Mariners were going to have the guts to eat his money and DFA him. Everybody just said, including us, that they care too much about not eating empty dollars, and they're going to refuse to cut him. They DFA'd him because they knew that at the time putting Rowdy Tellez on the roster instead was the best roster they could put out there. It is time to have that same mindset when Raley and Robles get back. Mm-hmm. You need to understand that it is time to have the best possible roster that you can put out there. And by activating Raley and Robles, that involves finally letting go of Solano and Dylan Moore.
And it's not like I think anyone is going to pick up those guys and they're going to go on someone else's roster. I don't think. Do you think?
No, and if those guys would accept an assignment out to the minors for the final month, then sure, they can go to Tacoma. That's fine.
Reminder to any team that wants to pick up, after the Mariners DFA Donovan Solano or Dylan Moore, if a team claims them, they have to pay their full, not the full $3 million or however much they're each making about $3 million. You would owe them one full month of big league salary that the Mariners are now completely off the hook for. And again, Dylan Moore has been one of the least valuable players in baseball since about the middle of May. I don't think teams want to pay for that. I
don't think so either.
Yeah. It doesn't make much sense to keep them on the roster any longer.
And I know Donovan Solano did a lot in that clubhouse early in the year, but you mentioned this pre-recording, and it's absolutely true. You have your clubhouse guy now. Not that you didn't before with guys like Cal and guys like Julio and guys like JP and guys that are absolutely leaders in that clubhouse. But if you're looking to the guy that everybody kind of turns to now that's the veteran, well, that's Gino. That's Eugenio Suarez. You have that guy now. The role that Donovan Solano was filling is the vet with a ton of experience that a lot of people would turn to and that could help some of the younger guys. You have that in Gino. I don't think that fills enough of a role anymore.
Right. Yep. Pretty well said. We hope they make the right decision coming up here in the next couple of weeks, because that's when it's going to be made. They've been on such a good roll recently. Such a good roll. Can we just keep it going?
Do you think we'll be talking about it at all if we see Mastro get sent to the minors, or are we going to let that go by the wayside?
I'm sure we'll talk about it, but they're also going to be playing hopefully too well for us to really worry about it that much. But there will be it's going to be like a little thing in the back of the mind, like when Dan Wilson makes his bullpen decisions, just like the offense is too good to get by his bullpen decisions, but the little birdies continuing to chirp and chirp and chirp and chirp and chirp.
Okay, but you don't think there's going to be certain reactions on social media if they make that move between one of us?
Oh, we'll do a reaction. 100%. Yeah, we're going to do a reaction. I'm just saying we're not going to spend a whole podcast on them sending Miles Mastroboni to the minors.
No, but you think we're not going to talk about it, or we'll talk about it?
Well, I mean, yeah, we'll say, I think this was the wrong move. I don't think this makes the team better. How does it make the team better to keep choosing to keep Donovan Solano and Dylan Moore on the roster?
Nope.
That's all you have to do. Is the team better with Donovan Solano and Dylan Moore on the roster over, say, Mastroboni and Ben Williamson, because those would be the two that's fighting over. Does that make you better? I do not think so.
No, it'd be Raley and Robles.
Right, but the two you would have but you want Mastro and Ben on the roster in September, when the roster expands.
So Raley and Robles would take the spots of Solano and Dylan Moore. Mastro stays on the roster, and Ben Williamson's the extra guy activated.
Here's how I think about it. The two outfielders are going to be on the roster no matter what. The roster is going to expand, so it's deciding on which two infielders you want on the roster. Because if you had the two of the outfielders on there and the two current infielders on there, once the roster expands, you have room for all of them.
That makes more sense. I get what you're saying now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. It'll play itself out in the next 7 to 10 days, so it'll be something to watch for. There's no doubt. I am really fired up to get to Nicky Becker, who we are not just fired up to watch start playing baseball games because his ceiling is something to dream on, but he was awesome to get to know here, too. Before we do that, let's take a quick pause. We'll tell you guys about our friends over at Pagacci's Pub 85, and we'll continue to do so because it's an awesome spot to hang out, you guys. You want to watch the home stretch of the season for the Mariners? Yeah, you do. You want to watch college football or the NFL? You want to watch all of it at once? Well, there's 20 TVs in that place, so you can watch a bunch of different things, all while hanging out with your friends, playing some games, having some great food, and you can get amazing happy hour specials, which are 2 to 6 p.m. on Monday through Friday, and drinks are $3 and $4. Yeah, $3 and $4 drinks on Monday through Friday for 4 hours a day. Go over there, have a good time with your friends, have some drinks, go watch some games over at Pagacci's Pub 85 in Kirkland.
This is a fun dude, guys. I think you guys are really going to enjoy listening to Nicky Becker. And what you want to pay attention for, you hear a little bit of his personality here, but he talks about how he is as a baseball player. It makes me very excited. He is bought in to the athlete part of being a baseball player, of being athletic in the batter's box, about being athletic on the field, about learning how to run, about maximizing all of his tools and sort of pushing that to help his power, to help his arm strength, and to help him run around the base paths, which makes it very exciting. Remember what Joe Doyle said about Nicky Becker. He compared Nicky Becker roughly to Gunnar Henderson because, like, here's this set of tools, how he's going to go utilize this. I loved how he said he was going to go utilize this, and I want you guys to listen for that in this interview.
It's a blast, man. Again, and like, he tells you a little bit about, growing up and playing baseball in New York and New Jersey and, his draft day. And he dives into a bunch of stuff, including getting into the Mariners system now and some of the guys he started to get to know. So this draft class already sounds like it's pretty close, which is cool because they've only been together for a few weeks. But the Mariners are good at this. They're good at getting these guys to mesh and get to know each other and spend time together. And he talks about that. So again, overall, really fun conversation. This is a guy you should be nothing but fired up for moving forward because him as a dude and him as a player, I mean, you can get yourself pretty excited about it pretty easily. And hopefully this interview helps you do the same thing.
We won't keep you guys any longer. Let's get you to the interview with Nicky Becker. All right, we got Mariners' second-round pick, Nicky Becker, on with us out of Don Bosco Prep in New Jersey. Nicky, welcome to the Mariners organization. Thanks for taking some time to join us. Can I get a rating on the Arizona Heat so far?
The Heat, I mean, heat-wise, it's probably out of 10. It's the hottest place probably I've ever been. This Heat is crazy.
Can you compare it to like an East Coast summer, though? Because I've been in some East Coast summers, and it's also pretty unbearable. It's not quite as hot, but it's like you're walking through a humidor at all times.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the East Coast heat is nothing compared to the heat out here, but it's definitely a lot more humid. So the good thing about here is that it's pretty dry and there's no humidity. But I can't even imagine this with like a New York humidity or a Florida humidity.
Well, look, you're never going to have to deal with that in Arizona. I promise. If it does happen, you could come find me and tell me I'm wrong.
Have you spent much time in Arizona before getting out there over the last couple weeks?
No, so I mean, the other time I was in Arizona was at the draft combine. I was there for 2 days, and then I flew back home, and then this is the longest I've been out here.
That's dope. How's it all been so far? I mean, there's so much we could get into here, and we'll get into a bunch of stuff. But like, as you're sitting down there, and as you're getting acclimated, and you go through draft camp, and getting ready to start to play in some games here, has it how's the experience all been? Just between getting to know some of the the coaching staff, some of the guys in your draft class, like has it been a whirlwind to all take in a little bit so far?
So it was a lot of emotions going through the first couple of days, right? I mean, draft day is really, really high of emotions. Then came out to Arizona and was ready to get to work. I mean, our draft class was really, really close and a bunch of good guys. Only high school guy in the draft, so everyone else is pretty much older than me, but it's been real fun and real cool hanging with all the guys and all the coaches and just getting better every day.
Who are you rooming with, and how are they as a roommate?
So when we were in the first 2 weeks, I was rooming with Luke Stevenson. He was a good roommate, and it was fun being with him. And then we moved to the apartments. I actually spent a couple days with Johnny Camello here, who was rehabbing. But now I'm an empty nester. I got no one else in here.
Nice. Okay, actually, I have a question on Lyle's behalf here because we've seen the stories on Luke and the amount of PB&Js he eats. How many PB&Js did he eat in those 2 weeks?
So he's probably told that story a couple times now. I think the reporter blew it up a little bit, but he's a one-a-day type of guy.
Okay.
I think reports had him going over 1,000, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, the math on that doesn't really add up unless you're eating like 4 throughout every game. That's like, I mean, that like I eat one every day. It's my favorite food and has been since I've been like 4 years old. But you eat 4 a day. That's where it gets to the point where you start to warrant a little bit of concern.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's cool. I mean, that's cool that you guys room together. Are you do they like to give you a hard time as the only high school guy in the class? Like, you're a couple years younger than everybody else. Like, do people like to get on you a little bit, like on a good way, but do they?
I think they all see me as like the little brother of the draft class. I mean, there's been a lot of instances where coaches are comparing baseball to cars, and I remember they asked me if I was old enough to drive. But all the guys kind of look at me as the little brother, and it's pretty cool looking at that because I got an older brother, and he does the same thing.
Is there such thing as like the rookie of rookies since you are the youngest? Like, do you have to wear a pink backpack? Do you have to like carry everyone's luggage to the bus?
No, I don't. So, I mean, I pretty much skipped all that, not going the college route. But I know a lot of the guys have been talking to me about if I was a freshman in college and what would I have to do with them.
Speaking
give us a sneaky personality in this draft class. Some guy like that you've gotten to know since you got to Arizona that you just like you can't get enough of now.
I'm gonna have to go with either outfielder Braden Korn or pitcher Griffin Hughes.
Why?
Well, looking at Griff, I really didn't know who he was, and now getting to know him, he's a really, really funny guy. I mean, he kind of just owns the room, and when he owns the room, it's kind of like everyone's laughing when he's talking. And then Braden, I've spent a lot of time with Braden. He's a good guy. I mean, I always joke around with him saying that he's a lot older than me, and he always jokes around with me saying that I'm an 18-year-old kid who can't do anything right now. So he's a really good dude to be around too.
Do you have one like fun fact about you that you want people to know, that you want Mariners fans to know? I mean, we've got a laundry list of things we want to kind of check off with you throughout the conversation, but just before we even get into that, like, is there one thing about you that you think it would be cool for Mariners fans to know?
Well, one fun fact I tell a lot is that I got a twin sister. But these last couple like off days on like Sundays we got off. Been hanging with Brady O'Brien a bit, and I'm starting to learn how to juggle. So it'd be pretty cool if I can get that down.
Can you do all 3 balls at once?
I'm kind of in the early stages right now, but I can do like 2 or 3 times in the air. Yeah.
Huh.
Do you qualify that as the 4th sport you can play?
I don't think so. I don't think I'm ready to handle that as a juggling athlete, but I hope I can pretty soon.
Are you going to try and rally up some of the guys on like an off day for like what you guys are allowed to do to like either play basketball or, you know, maybe play some flag football or something? Because you're pretty good at both of those too.
So, I mean, we got there's a basketball court in the back of our complex, so right. I've been kind of eyeing that down. But we kind of take our off days on like, we say over here, take your light days light, right? So I think the week is pretty high intent. So that Sundays and those off days are pretty much a relaxing rest day to get ready for the next week.
Okay, help me decipher this. You talked about, of the 3 sports you played in high school, you said I basically only played basketball for conditioning for baseball season. Did you start on the varsity basketball team with all that being said?
No. So I stopped playing basketball and football when I got to high school.
Okay.
Just because that my high school was like really, really high athletics. So, I mean, it's pretty hard playing multi-sport at my high school.
I was just curious how hard you were about to flex on us. It's like, yeah, I didn't love basketball. I only do it for conditioning, but I averaged like 18 a game on the high school team and started.
Yeah, and if one of the guys jumped under the basket, I'm probably dunking on them.
I can dunk, yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, you're 6'4", so that doesn't really shock me. But, like, you can do it with a full basketball or just with, like, a tennis ball?
I can do it with a full basketball, yeah.
Huh. And then what position did you play in football?
I was a quarterback and middle linebacker.
Is it fair to assume you would run a decent amount playing quarterback?
I did run a lot, yes. So, I mean, growing up, I was playing a lot with my cousin. He was a running back, so it was either him getting the ball or me taking, like, a boot on the outside and running the ball.
Nice.
Who's the hardest player you had to tackle?
Hardest player I had to tackle. So, I mean, growing up, I played up with my brother, so he's two grades, 2 years older than me. So we had a pretty good team. So just playing up that level, whatever, I was in 6th grade when all those guys were in 8th grade. A kid named Shaquan Walters. He's playing now in college, and we were good friends with him growing up, but he was definitely the hardest.
Okay, we joked earlier about kind of asking if you were the little brother who people like to try to get on a little bit throughout this draft camp, because there's not many high school guys in the class. Your actual older brother specifically, who's a good baseball player in his own right, I mean, he's out at Virginia. Who would you say is the better athlete between the two?
I'm 100% the better athlete out of us.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Like, was he not a 3-sport athlete?
He was also a 3-sport athlete. But I think, in my eyes, athleticism comes from, like, how you run and how you jump. And all that, and I think I got better numbers than him in those categories.
Now, would he admit that? Like, if we were to ask him and we said, "Hey, between the two of you, who's the better athlete?" What would he say?
I think he would say himself. I think he doesn't like to admit it, but he knows that I'm the better athlete out of us.
So, okay, that's what I was going to get at. So, Kyle Seager and Corey Seager have a little bit of a funny story where Kyle Seager, even when he was an established big leaguer and Corey was making his way through the minors, when Kyle would get asked the question, he would always say, look, Corey's the better player. That guy's way better than I ever could be, which was super rare. I was like, most older brothers, there is no chance you'd get that out of a younger brother to just kind of give way and admit that the younger brother's got a leg up on you. But your brother goes more the status quo. He's like, oh, yeah, Nicky's not a better athlete than me. There's no shot.
Yeah, he will never admit it.
Do you guys measure this head-to-head, or are we just basing it off of, like, I've run faster here, I've hit the ball farther? Like, how do you determine that?
So when he's home from college, we pretty much do a bunch of testing, and that's kind of my favorite part. So like last year he was home, and I just couldn't wait to hit the gym with him to kind of show him up. And we do all of our running stuff together and jumping stuff. So it was pretty funny when he came back and we went on like head to head.
What is the thing you guys are most competitive at? If there's like one like exercise, is there one like activity that you guys do that like really gets you guys both fired up?
It's got to be baseball. I mean, that's what we're most passionate about. So it's pretty much who hits the ball harder, who hits it further, who's a better defender, and everything that goes along like baseball lines.
So did you guys go up in a lot of home run derbies growing up, or you just like go out to the park, either to a little league field or your high school field, and just go at it?
So we kind of do everything. So we got a cage at my house, and it's kind of like my dad throws to us all the time, and it's kind of like, you know, he still does it to this day. I mean, the last time I was sitting with him in my backyard, he'll hit a ball good and just stare me down from the box, like, nice, you just hit a cage bomb. But yeah, I mean, we're pretty much going at it every time in a cage, and who had a better day that day or anything like that.
Are you a chirper?
I'm not, just because I've kind of grew up in my place with him. So I haven't been a chirper. I've never been one. And I'm kind of held back or laid back.
All that being said, is it fair to say you play the game with some fire, though? Like, you might not chirp opponents or you might not chirp your brother, but just watching your highlight reel, the biggest thing that jumped out to me, aside from all the tools you've got, is, oh, he plays with a lot of fire. Like, you hit a home run, you make a play at short, like, you know, you let yourself get fired up, which I think is a great thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I think I'm a completely different player on the field than a person off the field. Mm-hmm. I kind of just get into the zone and whatever happens. But, yeah, I mean, off the field, I'm kind of, like I said earlier, laid back. But on the field, if I'm fired up and pumped for a play that happens to me or a play that happens to my teammate, if my teammate hits a home run or if I hit a home run, it's the same feeling.
I heard a reporter on MLB Network describe you as an old school player, and I want to pose this question to you. Do you think of yourself more as an old school player or a new school player?
I think I'm more old school. I think I go to the field trying to better my craft every day, and I like to see myself as an all-around player that could do everything. And I just want to be like very good at what I can do, right? I mean, hitting offensively, defensively, on the bases. So yeah, I think I could classify myself as an old school player.
So when you say old school, I hear versatility. Is that, I guess, what you'd most try to hammer home?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm curious within all that about your speed. I don't think it's any secret that you can run the bases and that you've got wheels. But you're also 6'4", and I feel like the combination of that size and that speed, you don't just find it growing on trees every day. So I'm curious, like whenever you hit your growth spurt, whatever age that was there a point in time where the speed kind of slowed down a little bit and then it had to catch back up with you? Because I've seen plenty of kids growing up where it's like, oh, once they hit a growth spurt, they slow down. But with you, I'm curious if that ever happened at all.
I think I kind of learned how to run as I got bigger, right? I mean, I think the speeds always came to me, but as I got bigger, I think I got even faster. And that's kind of when I started to learn how to do my motions and all that. And again, it's all been about like competing with my brother, who could be the fastest. So I was always trying to be something better than him at something. And speed was where it was at that time.
Okay, you talk about you learned how to run. Can you elaborate on that a little bit? What you mean by learning how to run?
Yeah, so I mean, it sounds pretty stupid and crazy, but there's a lot going behind it. I mean, just the form and motions behind it. I mean, I was kind of just running with my legs, and I got back home a good speed guy, and Tony Williams that kind of taught me how to run these past 3 years, and it's kind of cleaned down my movements, and it's allowed me to move more freely.
I was going to follow up on that again and say, like, how do you get a great jump on the base paths, for example? Because if Josh Naylor showed anybody anything the last few weeks, it's that you don't necessarily have to be the like pure coldest, fastest guy on the planet to get good jumps. Like, how do you learn to get a great jump?
It's pretty much all from instincts, right? I mean, I think I was born with it. I think I could see stuff in like a slow motion view. So it's pretty much you're born with it, and it's just instinct. So it's kind of everything about the pitcher and just seeing like the future, I guess.
So we've heard from people about your tools, and you're described as having plus speed, as we just talked about, plus raw power, and a plus arm. What do you think is your best tool, and why?
I think my best tool is it's not a tool, but athleticism, right? I think it allows me to stick at short and make plays that others can't. I think it allows me to be athletic in the box, hit for power, hit for contact, and then also run the bases as well. I love my speed, and I think my speed impacts the game on all sides of the ball.
Are you hoping to be like a 30-30 guy?
That would be awesome. I mean, that's one of the goals I have if I make it to the big leagues.
30-30?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, that would be sick. How many times do you want? I mean, I'll put you on the spot a little bit. Like, is it to do it one time or is it to do it, 10 times?
It would be awesome if I could do it 10 times. But I would love to just get there once and then grow on from there.
Sure. I'm always curious to ask guys this, especially guys that get drafted decently high or had really good high school careers and clearly been good baseball players forever. But did you play normal Little League growing up, or were you on like the travel circuit?
I did play normal Little League growing up. So growing up, I played Little League, didn't really play travel ball. Really cool experience. My team was one game away from playing the Little League World Series. So yeah, that was a really, really cool experience playing with all those guys.
Okay, so that means you guys got all the way to Bristol, like for the regional, but not quite Williamsport. Is that what it was?
Exactly, yeah.
Your 12-year-old year, that year, how many home runs did you hit?
I couldn't even tell you. I had a pretty good year in my 12-year-old season, though.
Okay, so we're talking like 15 plus, if that's fair?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah.
And Little League seasons are, 20, 25 games. That's a lot of homers.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What was here's a question I need to ask you, because Kate Anderson got asked it at his press conference, and I'm curious to hear your answer on this. Before you got drafted by the Mariners, did you know where Seattle was?
Of course. I mean, I knew where Seattle's in Washington. Of course I knew that.
Did you know much about, like, did you either know much about the city, or I'll even say, had you visited before getting drafted?
I didn't know, honestly, I didn't know anything about the city. I just knew Seattle's in Washington. Talking to Johnny Formello, I told him I didn't even know what T-Mobile Park looked like until after I got drafted. So it was just really, really cool and kind of learning all through the process.
You didn't play on it in MLB The Show?
I'm actually not a big video game guy, so I really don't play MLB The Show. But yeah, I haven't.
That makes sense.
So were you just always outside then?
Pretty much. So when I was younger, I played video games. But as I got older and pretty much hit like middle school, that's when I kind of put it away. Funny though, because like my dad and my brother would always call me a gamer, and I always hated it. I thought it was like the biggest insult to me. So I got away from it, and then really just haven't really played it since.
Now, okay, do they call you a gamer because in baseball games you were a grinder and you would go hard, or did they call you a gamer because you played a bunch of video games?
They call me a gamer because I played a bunch of video games. Yeah.
Okay, so that drove you to get away from it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Back then, what did you like to play?
I was a Fortnite Call of Duty kid.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty cliche, right? That's pretty status quo for a kid like growing up playing video games.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
Have you heard about the mystery of hitting in T-Mobile Park?
Never.
You had not. Well, it has gotten quite a bit of attention in the last couple of years as being one of the hardest places to hit in all of baseball. I don't know if you're going to go do some research after this, but some guys say it is much more difficult to see the ball. The ball doesn't carry. It's just not as inviting of an environment as somewhere like Yankee Stadium, for example, where you can poke one down the line, or even Citi Field is, better than this. Teoscar Hernandez once, after he left the Mariners in 2023, said the batter's eye was crooked in center field, and was really hard to see the baseball. I'd imagine you played in some tough hitting environments in the Northeast growing up. So are you acclimated to something like that?
I think so. I mean, my high school, we had silver bleachers in center field. So when we were playing our 4:00 games, the sun would set over the press box behind home plate, and you would just get a glare from the silver bleachers out in center field. So we actually had to put like a mini batter's eye, if you will, over the fence to kind of block it. But I played in some pretty tough places.
Oh, perfect. So one of the things people complained about with the ballpark is that it glares too much. So I think you're already way ahead of it.
What are you doing to him, TJ? Like, he just got drafted, he's just getting acclimated, and you're sitting here for 2 minutes like, oh, this ballpark sucks to hit in, and nobody likes it. Like, you're just throwing him into the fire 2 weeks.
Okay. So the biggest thing is that the ball doesn't carry a lot. I think that's the thing most people agree on. But Nicky can do so many other things that makes up for it. It's like, look at Josh Naylor; he's running all over the place.
That's fair. That's fair.
And by the way, here, fine. Let's gas Nicky up here a little bit. In Everett, in High A, the center field fence is 357 feet. So you're welcome. Easing you in a little bit.
Oh yeah, talking to Johnny Formello, he says it's a pretty small field and it's a hitter's park over there.
Well, and then you jump to Double-A and you're like hitting on the moon or whatever.
Yeah,
that feels probably more like hitting at T-Mobile Park, because I know that park's supposed to be big, but. Speaking of like you getting acclimated, what was your draft day like in terms of like, did you have a big party? Were there a lot of people around you, or did you keep it small?
So 2 days leading up to the draft, told my parents that I didn't want anyone coming over this day. Like I want to be as less stressful as it can be. And then the day before, my mom was like, you have to have people over. Like, I'm going to make you have people over. And I was like, all right, you can just keep it to family. Had my aunts, uncles, grandparents over, cousins. And then the day it kind of just kept going and going. It felt like the longest couple hours of my life. And then finally the Mariners called at 57, and it was a go.
That's sick.
Who was your first call to who wasn't there?
It was my all my high school teammates were all at the like a draft party at one of my good friends' house. So they were all there. I knew they were all there, and they got a really cool video. But first call was to them, and they were all excited. But it was just a big emotional roller coaster.
Did you get to go like swing by there after and go celebrate?
So it was real late. It was about, I don't know, it was about 11 o'clock. But a couple of them actually drove to my house.
Okay.
So with my thing, like my high school, I went to high school in Jersey, lived in New York. So it wasn't like it's a 5-minute drive to their house. They drove like 35 minutes to come see me.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
Wait, so you lived in New York but went to high school in New Jersey?
Yeah. So I live in Rockland County. It is about 30 minutes from my high school, Don Bosco Prep in Ramsey, New Jersey.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So were you pretty close with all your high school teammates then? Like, did you guys grow up playing together and everything too?
So we didn't grow up playing together. I met them. I was going in, right? I mean, my dad coached there. I knew I was going to Bosco from a really young age. And growing in, I had no friends at all. These kids, Jersey kids. And then first year was like making friends. And then after that first year, it was like, these are going to be my best friends for life. And we have a really good group. And we're all really close.
That's sick. If you were drafted and like the call came and everything happened at about 11 p.m. your time, what are you doing for that full day before the draft even starts? Like, what do you do to distract yourself before the picks start rolling in?
So so in the morning, my dad and I went to go hit. We went on a field to hit just to get back into things. And then we came back. We started cleaning our cars just to pass time. So I cleaned my car, cleaned his, cleaned my mom's. Then we came back, and I think I took the longest shower of my life that day. Just trying to pass some time. I mean, I felt like it was like a year that went by when the draft came. And then when it came, I was kind of just locked in on the TV. And that was really the longest couple hours of my life.
You still had to feel pretty confident, though, that you were going to, like, at least there was a pretty solid chance you were going to land with somebody on that day, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
Okay.
I was confident going in. And then it was kind of just like, when is this going to happen? It's kind of like my mom always does it, watching a movie and looking how it ends before it happens. So I think I've got that from her, and I kind of wanted that to happen to me there.
And then how much of a whirlwind was it after for you just to get down to Arizona?
It was, I mean, we were there. I mean, I think I left, so the draft was on Monday, I think, maybe. And then I think I left like 2-3 days after the draft happened.
Wow. Yeah, that is one quick turnaround, I will say.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Is it cooler, if you have to pick between the two, is it cooler to get the call from Scott Hunter or Jerry DiPoto or whoever it is, or to see it actually announced on TV?
I think it was cooler for the phone call.
Uh-huh.
Scott Hunter called me, and it was kind of like, man, this is real. Like, this is awesome. And then everything after on the TV when it was announced was like you did it. But I think Scott Hunter's call was pretty memorable.
Which Mariner, Nicky, are you most looking forward to talking to and learning from?
I think Cal Raleigh. I mean, he's the best player in the league. He does it all, both sides of the plate. So it'd be really cool to pick his brain about how he's doing, what he's doing in the box, and how he got to where he is. But yeah, it would be really cool to meet Cal Raleigh.
Have you heard from any of the big leaguers once you got picked?
I didn't hear from any of the big leaguers, but some of the guys in the affiliates heard from. So that was pretty cool.
Who? If you don't mind
Johnny Formello right away.
Yeah.
Ryan Sloan right away. So yeah, It was pretty cool seeing those guys.
People have been comping you and Sloan's path pretty similarly, because Sloan is sort of your story of last year, had to go way over slot to get you in the second round. Just this highly touted high school guy. You're like, so Sloan in high school, like, what's the good way to describe this? So Sloan was pretty polished in high school. You have a ton of tools at shortstop, but the idea is both the same with the two of you. It's like, we're throwing the upside play here. And Sloan has had a great first season with the Mariners. Did you guys get to talk about that at all? It's like how he acclimated into everything.
So it was pretty much just like a text, and it would be really, really cool to meet him. I'm sure I'll meet him in spring training face to face. But it was just a quick text. I think he texted me a couple minutes after I got picked. Yeah, so he was kind of right on it, and it was pretty cool to see a player like him reach out.
I was going to do something with you about like overrating or underrating New Jersey things, but did you not spend that much time in New Jersey growing up if you were in New York?
So I was pretty much in Jersey a lot for my life. Like I said, I mean, I think my dad was coaching at Bosco like when I was in fourth, fifth grade. So I was taking a trip up to Ramsey a lot, and then I've been in there. A bunch of my friends are from there, so I've spent a good bit of my life in Jersey.
Okay, let me throw a couple things at you because I wrote a couple down, and I'm curious if you're going to go overrated or underrated for these. Atlantic City, and it doesn't have, not saying like you're in the casino or whatever, but like even like the boardwalk and just the whole area. Is that area overrated or underrated?
I think it's overrated.
Yeah, not that fun.
I don't think it's. I think I'm more of a, just a quiet, like small group type of guy. That place is just packed every single time, and no matter the time.
All right, so I'm going to do another, and I feel like I might know the answer to this based off how you just answered that one. Jersey Shore.
Jersey Shore, there's some good parts and there's some bad parts. I mean, it's nice when you got a good group of friends that you're hanging out with, but boardwalks are not my thing. If you go to the beach, you have a couple of your friends with you. It's a good time. Go back to someone's house. It's a really good time. Honestly, the Jersey Shore I think it's better than Atlantic City.
Okay.
But I think it's a good rating. I don't think it's overrated or underrated.
What's the deal with these like pork roll, egg, and cheese sandwiches? Are those overrated or underrated?
So it's a pork roll or Taylor ham. I've always thought growing up it was a pork roll, but all my Jersey friends say it's a Taylor ham. I'm actually not a pork roll Taylor ham type of guy. I'm more of a sausage egg, bacon egg type guy. But one of my best friends always gets it, and he loves them. So it's got to be pretty good.
All right. Last one, Newark Airport. Is it overrated or underrated?
Overrated. That and JFK are two of the worst airports I've been to. I mean, there's so many people there and flights delayed and.
It's funny. All three New York airports you can find horror stories from because people talk about LaGuardia being awful, people talk about JFK being awful, and people definitely talk about Newark being awful. So I was curious your take on that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If you're going to stamp yourself, are you more New Jersey or more New York?
It's funny because all the guys in the draft class have been talking. I'm from New York, but I think I'm repping Jersey more just because, I think that's kind of like my home. I mean, Bosco is there. All my friends are over there, so I consider myself a Jersey boy.
What Jersey thing do you think needs to be established in the Pacific Northwest? And before you answer, I guess you will answer. You might not know if it's established yet. It's established yet. Lyle and I will tell you if it's established or not. So, like, your favorite Jersey thing that you'd establish in the Northwest. All
right. Well, I guess from being out or in Arizona right now, you got to have some good pizza and bagels because I can't find a spot right now in Arizona, and I'm kind of missing that pizza and bagel taste from the Northeast.
Yeah. It's very hard to replicate. There's some good spots. It's not as good. So. Probably you have to set your expectations lower, unfortunately.
Wait, you think in Seattle there's good spots? I feel like there's like not good pizza and bagels in Seattle.
Good for my rating, but if we're comparing to New York, it's not close.
Mm-hmm. That's what I would say.
We have New York families, so we're there all the time, and the pizza and bagels are unbelievably good. Like, there are some good spots in Seattle, but it does not match up at all. So.
Do you have a favorite New York pizza spot, Nicky?
I mean, you can go anywhere and get a good slice. I mean, there's a really, really good pizza spot in New Jersey. It's called Ralph's, Nutley, New Jersey. One of the best pizzas I've ever had. I mean, I went there before the draft with a bunch of my Bosco friends and one of our coaches. Just a good time, and we ordered a bunch of pies and ate them all. I mean, that pizza's amazing.
So, okay, you're spot on with that, though. If you like to take pizza and bagels from the East Coast and from the Northeast and take them to the Pacific Northwest, that's a good answer because they need a whole lot more good pizza and bagels to answer your question. Man, Okay, we got 5 like wrap-up questions to end with you on. And we do it with every guy that we usually talk to and try to get to know. Just try to let Mariners fans learn a little bit more about you, learn about your personality a little bit more. So we like to start with this one. Is your go-to pregame and postgame meal before game is what?
I'm not a really big eater before games. I'm just a big water chugger. So I've never been a meal guy before games, but after games, it's kind of just like chicken parm or like pizza. Like I said earlier, I mean it's pretty easy getting those back home.
Homemade, or are you eating out?
So my mom and grandma make a really good chicken parm. So it's that, and then the pizza's always out.
True Italian. True Italian. Next question, Nicky. What are your 3 favorite TV shows ever?
Ooh. All right. I gotta go not in order. I'm gonna go with Reacher on Amazon Prime. I'm gonna go The Flash on Netflix.
Flash is good.
And then last one. I've watched a bunch of shows. It's kind of hard to pick that third one. I think my top 2 though are Reacher and Flash.
Okay. Have you seen either of those? I don't know if I have. TJ?
No, I've seen The Flash.
Okay.
I think if you guys want, that Reacher show, it's 3 seasons, not long at all. I watched it all down here. It's amazing.
I was waiting for one of the classics to come in here, like The Sopranos or Breaking Bad or
Breaking Bad is Thrones. Breaking Bad is real good.
Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
Okay, The Flash. Is that the one with like the zooms, the anti-hero, like he's the bad guy? Do I have that right?
Yeah, that sounds
He's
right.
in one of the
There's a lot of episodes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've got it like partially right. Then maybe I've seen a couple of those episodes with the zoom. But okay, Reacher. I'll back pocket that one if I need a show to watch. This is a little bit of an interesting question for you because obviously you'd be on your way to Virginia right now, but I'll still ask it anyway. What would you be doing if you weren't playing baseball? AKA, like, what do you think your major would be in?
I've always said economics, right? I think economics is one of the foundations to the business world. So just going on there and kind of getting the foundation and getting ready to start in the real world, I think that would be it.
Did you know what you would want to do off of that?
I couldn't tell you. I think I would have learned what I want to do if I went to school. But hopefully this baseball route works.
That's actually a very East Coast answer, I feel like. It's a very Northeast answer. Yeah, economics, I'll work in the business world. I don't know how much you've talked to Johnny Farmello about this, but the story out on him is he is super into all the Wall Street stuff, all the stocks, everything. So I don't know if that would have been up your alley or not, but it's clearly up his because he's talked about it.
Oh, I mean, I walked down each morning and Johnny was on the stock market. So it was pretty funny and cool talking to him about that.
Nicky, I have a guess what the answer could be to this question, given your position and where you're from, but I'm going to ask anyways. Your favorite all-time baseball player is who?
Derek Jeter.
Exactly who I was thinking.
Did you grow up going to a lot of Yankee games?
So I grew up watching a lot of Yankee games. It's funny because every single sporting event I go to, I feel like the New York team loses. So I think last year I went to 6 Jets games and 3 Yankee games, and I was 0-9 in all those games. So I think I might be a little bad luck for them New York teams.
I don't know if you're the bad luck for the Jets. I really don't think so.
Yeah, I mean they're in a hole, so
you need a special type of positive voodoo to fix the New York Jets, and this is coming from somebody who had 2 parents that grew up Jets fans. So believe me, I don't think you showing up to those games is what's affecting those wins and losses, or probably more losses. Okay, so you're a Jets fan too, then?
Yeah.
Are we up on Justin Fields? Okay, he avoided the injury. Mm-hmm. How are we feeling about him?
I think he's a great quarterback to get out of the pocket. I think they needed some work on their offensive line, so I think getting a guy that can run a little bit is going to help them. Mm-hmm. But I mean, man, it just stinks watching them lose.
Were you bought in on all the Aaron Rodgers hype when the trade happened, or were you were you 1 foot in, 1 foot out?
I was Super Bowl or bust. And then when I got Devontae Adams, I was like, yeah, they're winning it. And it was real bad.
And then the first series happened.
I mean, you've probably seen like the video Aaron Rodgers running out on that Monday Night Football game with the flag. I mean, you probably see that get memed online now, right? Because that's like everywhere when it's like, look at how short-lived this was. It's always that video.
Yeah, always.
Last one I got for you. If you were to make your big league debut today, what would your walkout song be?
Ooh, I think it's got to be. It's got to be. I don't even know. I think it's got to be some country song or some Bob Marley song. I always love them walk-up songs that get the crowd involved. So I think something like that and walking up to the plate where the crowd's involved would be pretty nice and pretty sick.
Are you primarily a country guy?
I'm all country, yeah. I only listen to it. And the car rides, listening to country music is the best.
Yeah.
So you like to stay in like a pretty mellow state then? That's what
Yeah.
That makes sense. That's cool. Well, I'm curious to see what country song you pick in a couple years when you get the chance to do it. So, Nicky, this has been awesome. Like, we have had a blast getting to talk to you. I'm sure Mariners fans have had a blast listening to this. We are fired up to see what you do when you start getting into games here. And hopefully we'll catch you down in spring training. We usually make it down there for a week or so come February, March. So hopefully we'll catch you in person then.
Awesome. Thank you guys for having me.
Well, shout out Nicky Becker. That was a really fun conversation. I'm looking forward to getting to know him more as his minor league time progresses and his time in the organization progresses. I can't wait to watch him start playing games because, again, that combination of speed and power and defense, he's got a chance to be really fun. So hopefully that conversation and learning a little bit more about him fired you guys up too. All right, that'll just about wrap up this edition of the Marine Layer Podcast. I'll tell you guys what, if you're still listening, I would tune in Friday. I think Friday's got a chance to be a fun episode. I'll leave it at that, but we're looking forward to it. Tune into Friday's pod. Yeah. As always, you guys know the drill. If you want to listen to our full-form podcast, you can do so wherever you get your audio pods. If you're doing that, make sure to download. Please rate and review 5 stars. It really helps if you do. If you're watching on YouTube, like, comment, and go hit that subscribe button. That is the best way you can support us. That's the easiest way to support the channel. Hit subscribe on YouTube. And then if you want to see all of our other stuff, it's easy to follow. It's all over at our website. You can find our live show schedule. You can sign up for our Patreon. We'd love to have you get involved. Go get your merch. Guys, it is an exciting time to be a Mariner fan. We have had so many awesome conversations with people around the park, either asking us about getting merch or people that already have it. And we love to see it keep spreading. We love to see more and more people wearing the podcast merch. So you can find all of that over at our website, marinelayerpod.com. And then you can find us everywhere on social media at marinelayerpod. That's TJ. I'm Lyle. As always, we thank you guys for tuning in. We'll talk to you soon.